I think I'm in the center. Hi everyone, it's Chloe. In my last video, I shared that I just accepted a new job offer as a product lead. It is a great milestone, but it took a lot of effort to negotiate for the things that I want in my next role. This is my 5th company now, and I have learned so much about the world of negotiations. So this video is a brain dump of all of the things that I've learned to negotiate your tech salary. Let's hit it. In college, I've always heard that women make less than men. In fact, in the US, women make 82 cents for every $1 earned by men, even in 2021. And if you think that's bad, it's even worse for women of color. Going into industry, I had no idea what this would mean for me. I'm from an immigrant family, low income, ESL kid with no connections. In my first job, I got a non-negotiable salary of $60,000, which I was stoked about until I joined the company and heard about my coworkers complaining about their pay and discovered that they were making almost 3 times more than I was at the same years of experience. That hurt. Apparently, when people do find out when they're being paid less than their colleagues, 40% of them actually start looking for a new job. Not that money is everything, but these experiences taint our perception of how we are being valued at work. Not only that, if you don't fix it now, lower pay can follow you for the rest of your career because it builds upon your previous pay history. Knowing my demographic and my crappy salary history, I knew that if I didn't do anything, I'd be so screwed. And so, young girl, buckled down and did everything in the literature to master the art of negotiating. Interesting find, one of the most strongly correlated reasons for the wage gap comes down to what you might expect to get paid. This is called the wage expectation. In fact, it is so strongly correlated that they say if you solve for the wage expectation gap, you might end wage inequality entirely. The problem is women of color report expecting to earn less on average because we just assume we're not worth more, because of retaliation, because we're afraid of losing the offer, and because we just don't know any better. Or at least I didn't. So for my women of color and friends out there who don't have the resources, the connections, and the confidence to communicate your worth, this video is dedicated to you. Before we start, we got our very first official sponsor, Casetify. They create these beautiful custom cases that help eliminate single-use plastic. They launched their new Impact and Ultra Impact phone cases that are made of 65% recycled and plant-based materials. They're 100% non-toxic and non-hazardous. All cases ship with 100% recycled packaging, made with recycled paper and non-toxic soy ink. I'm also a huge klutz, so thankfully Casetify created their Chi-Tech 2.0 Impact absorbing material engineered to protect your phone from drops up to 9.8 feet. I can easily charge my phone wirelessly and use 5G with Casetify, but what really caught my eye is that they have the cutest designs I've ever seen for anyone. You can browse curated prints on their website, personalize your own custom case, or get one designed by your favorite artists and designers. I caught one of their cute MacBook cases too. Their cases use Defensify, an antimicrobial coating that kills 99% of bacteria and prevents it from sticking to your case so you can be clean like a queen. The holidays are coming up, and this would be a delightful gift for your friends and family to spruce up their tech. Go to casetify.com/colorsofchloe to save 15% off your new case. Thank you, Casetify, for sponsoring this video. We love to see tech used for good, and I am humbled to partner with you today. And with that, let's start the video. I just want to say that this is a really hard video to cover in one single video, so this will be your Spark Notes version to tech negotiations, okay? So negotiations actually begin way before you get an offer. Let's just say that you're in the initial phone screen with the recruiter. I posted a while back about what you should fully expect in this video, so check that out. But the key thing here is to information gather the heck out of the company and learn what their level structure and their comp stats are, and try to see what level they're slating you for. Ask, can you walk through how levels work at the company? What level is this for? Is a level flexible? How does the team differentiate this level and the next level? Then ask, can you break down how the compensation package is structured? This is way more complicated than you might think, so I'm gonna have to dedicate a whole other video just to talk about how tech compensation works. For now, the basic components points are number 1, base salary, number 2, equity, number 3, maybe a performance bonus, and number 4, maybe a sign-on bonus. On this topic, they will for sure ask what are your expectations around compensation. Then you say, I don't have a number in mind right now and would need some time to think about it. What's the budget your team is working with for this role? If they don't tell you, you can ask, how does this level or role map to a level at Google or Facebook? Because Fang/Manga have very public stats that you can use as comparables for this role. Now, let's just say you go through the interview process, you really crush it, and now you're at the offer stage. This is where the bulk of your negotiations take place. Just for context, I yoinked a bunch of tips from Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, which is a phenomenal read. Anyways, when you get to the offer call, you will be asked what your timeline looks like, whether you're talking to other companies, and maybe what your comp expectations are again. But here's what you need to know. Tip number 1, let them give the first number, but be prepared to take the hit. If the number didn't feel like a low ball and it seemed higher than you expected, just know that that number is the number they give out to anyone who does not negotiate. Remember that 45% of women negotiate their salary while 68% of men negotiate theirs. Specifically within tech, women still negotiate less often than men do. Even when they do, they ask for lower salaries than men do. Even when they try, men still succeed more often than women do in negotiating the number that they want. So let's change this. Tip 2, be prepared with 3 numbers going into this conversation. Number 1, your anchor. This is the first amount that you're gonna throw out. One of my mentors once told me, anchor high like a motherfucker. I asked him how high is high. He said, when the number starts feeling crazy, you know you're in the right range. Number 2, your due diligence number. Go on all of these websites and figure out all the comp stats for anyone who's in the same jobs as well as the same levels and in the one above, so you know what your max band kind of looks like. This way you'll know if recruiters are lying to you if they say something like, oh, our offers are non-negotiable, we don't offer equity right now, we don't offer sign-on bonuses. And all of that is not true. It's a scam. Lastly, number 3, the amount that you'll actually be happy switching at. You might be about that Sigma grindset life and squeeze every penny in every deal, but at the end of the day, you do want both sides to be happy. You're eventually gonna work with these people and your reputation precedes you. Also, there's always gonna be a higher amount, so just know what you're gonna be happy with, let go, and focus on the things that matter moving forward. Tip 3, attack the comp package in components. Tackle salary first. You can begin by addressing the elephant in the room and establishing a tone of collaboration. I'm really pumped for this role, but I want to recognize that this is a very challenging conversation, and this will be the only time you and I will be on the opposite sides of the table. I assure you though, our goal is the same, so I hope we can make this work out. I'm surprised because the starting offer is pretty low given where I'm at in my stage of career and my expertise. What can we do to close this gap? They'll probably ask what comp you're expecting now, and this is where you drop your anchor. And do so in a range, not a specific number, and make sure the lower end of the anchor is higher than what you actually want, and say it with conviction. Let's say you get an offer for 110K and then you hit them with an anchor for 150 to 175K. The psychology here is that you will bend their reality to thinking that 150K is so much lower than 175K that if they just hit your bottom bracket, they're getting a deal from you. They'll go back, work with the team, discuss some numbers, and then come back with a slightly higher offer, maybe 125K? Don't be impressed just yet. They expect to negotiate with you and they are incentivized to get you to sign. They have already allocated the wiggle room to make you feel like you're winning, but remember, you were lowballed to begin with. These are things you can say to keep doing this back and forth. Eventually, your counterpart will come back to you and say, the team had a very thorough discussion and the best we can do is 145K. Which leads to tip 4, ask calibrated questions to really understand their rationale. Frame your questions in a way to find out what's really blocking them from moving the needle. I really appreciate your help, but I'm sorry, there's still a big gap. What are the questions the team is thinking through? What can make the team more comfortable? How can we make this work? How can we close this gap? Then tip 5, don't say anything. Use tactical pauses. I know all the people pleasers out there will try to jump in and accommodate. Don't. Hold your breath. Count to 10. Let the other person suggest ideas because they will feel so much better if the idea came from them. They might say we couldn't go any higher because of the market and your experience level. Then tip 6, mirror and label. Mirroring is where you repeat the last 3 critical words of what someone else says. You respond with, my experience level? Pause. Let them elaborate and reveal their strategy. They might say the team was looking for someone with more direct experience. Label their underlying emotion to bring it out. You can disguise it as rephrasing, but ultimately you want to start with, it seems like, it looks like, it sounds like, the team feels unsure about whether someone with my background can succeed in this role. Your counterpart may then try to clarify and ultimately reveal what the actual blocker is. Address the underlying reason and ask, what can we do to make the team feel better about this decision? There are lots of paths forward here. You can hop on more interview loops for the team to gain better signal on a specific skill set. You can also suggest providing references to speak on behalf of your capabilities. Another tool to accelerate the numbers is tip number 7, have a BATNA, a better alternative to a negotiated agreement. This is your competing offers and is best used when your negotiations fall through. And if company A gives you a much higher salary and company B gives you a higher equity, then use the 2 highest pieces individually to hedge against your main company. It's kind of like stacking your highest SAT scores to get your super score. Does that make sense? Is that a boomer reference? Do people not take SATs anymore? When you finally do land the right salary number, do the same with equity, and then now you can move on to sign-on bonus. And tip 8 is always get a sign-on bonus. Did I always get a sign-on bonus? No. But did I learn that other people got sign-on bonuses even when people told me that they didn't give them out? Yes. So a couple of ways to get them. 1, low salary. If you made the expectation that the salary was low, you can say, I appreciate the work you've done and I understand this is the max amount, but this is still far from what I'm expecting. Can we work through a sign-on bonus to close this gap? 2, time. Their goal is to get you to sign ASAP, but the truth is no role is ever that urgent, especially in tech. If they want you to start in 3 weeks, you can respond with, that's really soon. I have a few more things to wrap up in the next 2 months and can start after. Pause. Then they might ask, what can we do to help you start sooner? Then you say, I think a sign-on bonus would help tremendously. Number 3, opportunity cost. This is kind of tied to time because if you were to leave, you would lose out on RSUs vesting, a performance bonus, a promotion, a salary adjustment. You can say that you need to start later because of these opportunity costs, but a sign-on bonus could help you start sooner. Number 9, no deal is better than a bad deal. Really. A bad deal is you making a lateral or lower move because you just hate your current job and are trying to run away from it. Changing companies is tiring. The problems you see at your current company likely exist everywhere else. The very least you can do for yourself is to get a better offer. I've gotten lower offers in the past and I've straight up said, look, it doesn't really make sense for me to take a step down in my level and pay at this stage of my career. Pause, let them do the work. And if they don't, they're not worth your time. Yes, people are afraid of negotiating because they might lose the deal, and it's true, you can. But part of negotiating is knowing your worth and then articulating it. And if the company couldn't even value you at this stage, how can you have the confidence to know that they're gonna treat you any better moving forward when they actually have you in their back pocket? You don't. So value yourself, please. Tip 10, the non-monetary things matter too. Things like 401k matching, benefits, PTO, childcare, your scope, your career opportunities. I won't go into these because it's really based on what you need at the current stage of your life, but it's very much worth researching if they apply to you. Whew, that was a lot, but I hope you found this insightful. I certainly didn't learn all of this on my own. I had to get a lot of practice to exercise my negotiation muscles. I want to shout out my mentors who have been there for me in the last minute calls to remind me of my own worth when I was questioning myself in these latest round of negotiations. I hope y'all are proud of me. On a more personal note around you, that's right, you. I've been so grateful to see how this channel has impacted some of y'all in your own lives. I see y'all in the Discord supporting each other, sharing advice, and just keeping each other accountable on your own goals. There's over like 1,000 of you now in the Discord, which is kind of wild. And a lot of the Discord people hang out with me on Twitch, and I think we might be getting a little bit too comfortable, but I have a lot of fun chatting with you all. And I think I'm almost at partner level, which is crazy. Also, your support on these videos have helped me get my first official sponsor, Tasteify! But really, They would not be here if you were not here. Remember that. Thank you for helping me continue to use this channel for the better. I've got lots of great videos coming up next, but I realize that y'all always want me to do the serious videos and not necessarily the fun ones, so let me know when you are ready for some fun casual vibes. I am waiting. I'm also starting to speak at more conferences and universities, so if you're part of a program and you want me to be a speaker, feel free to reach out to me through email in my description down below. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support your girl here. Thank you to all the uniquelos that already show your support. I really appreciate you all. That's all for now, and I will see you next time. Bye!